Okay, welcome to this week's little video. I'm actually going to make two of these. This one is the JavaScript one. I'm also going to do a Git tutorial. That will be pretty basic, but let's just get started. I'm going to just walk through some JavaScript. I'm going to kind of show how I debug some things, and hopefully it will give folks kind of a taste of what debugging apps can look like. You might have your own way, but this should get you a little taste of what some things you can try. So here I have an app. This is the same app that I was working on last week. I've done some stuff with it, but as you can see over here, it's not working, and so I want to figure out why. And again, don't worry about the React part of it, or I'm going to focus mostly on the JavaScript, basic JavaScript stuff, so you can focus on that with me. So this is saying I'm getting this console error, and it shows up here. That's a React thing, but you can see down here it says cannot read properties of null. Okay, and then it says it's reading map. Okay, and so when you see this, this means that the code is trying to treat null as an object, and it's trying to do something with it. So this could be length or for each or something, right? And so this is saying I can't read properties of null. I can't read map of null. Okay, and so let me come over to my code here and just kind of have a look and check out where map might be used. And in this case, I can see map right here. I don't think there's any other instances of map. So if I search for map, why isn't that working? If I search for map, that's the only thing that I have. So, and so I'm interested in knowing what this items is, because items is supposed to be able to call map. And so what I would usually do is just up here, right after items is set, I'm going to just do console.debug. We'll just do debug items. Okay, and let's just see what that is. And maybe that will help us. So if I just come up here again, at some point, I'm going to see my debugs. Okay, line 7 here, that's what I added, and it's saying it's null. And so, okay, that makes sense. It's trying to call map, and that's null. Okay, so then I want to see what this is getting set to. Now, this is a little bit different. This is React, and so don't worry about that. But in this case, it's going to default to this get JSON storage chore list. Okay, now let's just go look at that and see what that does. Oops. Okay, that takes a key, and in my case, I just pass it chore list, and it gets serialized data from local storage, and it parses it and it returns it. Okay, so that looks fine. I don't expect that to do anything else. But what happens, let's come down here and look at my local storage. What happens when I don't have any local storage? Nothing is there. And so it's going to grab nothing, and it's going to parse it as nothing, which is just null. And I'm going to get back null for this items. So that's not what I want. I want to default it to something when it's null. Okay. Now there's multiple ways you can do this. I can do an if statement, if null, then set it to this, whatever. I'm going to just use a very short way of doing this, and that's using the OR operator. Okay. And then I'm going to say, oh, I'm going to default it to an empty list, an empty array. Okay. So what this is saying is go and get my JSON storage, chore list, and or if that's null or falsy in any way, or use an empty array. Okay, so this is coming back null in this case, and so we're going to get an empty array. So now if I save this, I should be unblocked. Okay, if I come down here and check out my console that I did on line 7, boom, empty array. Okay, so now I'm unblocked. Okay, so now let's check out some other things. So I have this like very basic chore list. It's not pretty. I didn't want to spend too much time on this styling and stuff. But essentially what we're going to do is we're going to add items, and then we're going to search and filter items. Okay, so the way that it's I want it to work is I'm going to type something in here, and then when I hit enter, I want it to add it to a list. So let's clean room. Okay, I'm going to hit enter, and it's not working. Okay, so why is it not working? Okay, let me look at my handler. So that's this one here, this input text on key down add item. Okay, come in here, I pass the event. If the event key equals enter, then new lines that. So I don't know. I need to debug this. So this is what I would do. I would come in here and I'd say, well, let's see if I get in here at all. So I would console.log or debug, and then I would just say, something to tell me that I hit this part of the code. It can be anything. This is how I do it, and so I just want to see if that gets hit. So I come in here and hit enter. Nope, I'm not seeing that. Okay, so that's interesting. So why not? So I have this if statement that's blocking it. Okay, so let's come up here, and the only real thing that can be happening is that E key is not, or that E dot key is not what I expect. Okay, so let's check that out and let's see what that is. Okay, this is what I would do. I would say, okay, well, let's see what that is. Okay, come over here, hit enter, and it says enter. Oh, but look, it's a capital E, so I just got to change that. Okay, I kind of added some bugs intentionally here, but okay. So if I go and change that, and get rid of this, let's see what happens now. Okay, so I have an item now. Okay, now this is weird because I hit all these, and like I wouldn't expect, I kind of want this to clear out. Okay, so let's do that, and let me fix this this React error real quick. Don't worry about that. So I'll do that. So then, we want that to clear out. So how can you do that? Well, I create this new items. Okay, I take the old items and spread those out using the spread operator. If you don't know what that is, you can look it up. Essentially, this is an easier way of creating a new array, and because I'm in this case, I'm creating a brand new array, taking all the items from the old one and then adding a new one. Okay, and then I'm setting these items to that. But in this case, we also want to clear out that value. So I can access that that value by eTarget. Okay, that will give me access to that input value equals, and then we'll just do it like that. Okay, so we're just gonna set that to an empty. Okay, and let's try it out again. Okay, so now it's cleaning it out, and I can type other things, right? So clean bathroom, do laundry, okay, that sort of thing. Okay, so now what happens if I just hit enter? Oh, I don't want empty chores. So let's add some other things. Let's just add another some logic here, okay? Because the problem is this value is empty and we're allowing it, okay? So this is kind of how I would do it. Let's do a little bit of refactoring. Let's do the input is the target. And then let's say the item to add is input dot value. I don't know, this is a little verbose, but that's okay. Oh, my computer is struggling for some reason. Item to add. Okay, so I've just moved that, and then let's just set the input value to that. Now, I haven't changed anything. I just moved some things around. So let's say if I hit enter and item to add. Okay. Now, you might say you know, how's that going to work? Well, let's see if it does work. Okay, it's not adding anything. Okay, added something. So the reason why that's working is an empty string is falsy. Okay, so when it tries to go and say you push enter and the item to add is some sort of truthy value. Now, what happens if we hit enter? Or sorry, space. Let's space a couple times and hit enter. Oh, well, that's a couple spaces. Okay, it's not going to render because it's white space, but I hit a couple spaces and it added that to the array. Okay, so we can get around that by doing dot trim. Right? Is that right? I think that's right. We'll see if it's right. What trim does is it's going to strip all your white spaces on both the right and the left side of it, okay? And then it's going to add it, okay? So if I hit that and hit enter, now that probably isn't the best place to do it, because what just happened was it actually added all that front white space. So let's just refactor this a little bit and move that trim up here. So essentially we're sanitizing our input to be a little bit more clean, and we're doing it up there, okay? And then we have that, okay. So now you can't really see this. Let me just put it here. Okay, so you can see we have some white space. This one had white space before and after, but now if we do it, we're going to get nice, clean, trimmed stuff. Okay, so now, you know, we have all this good stuff. It's hooked up to JSON, and let's just see. So I should be able to refresh. Oh, where's my list? Okay, let's go and check. It's not here. Okay, well, let's go and look. I'm adding this, setting my items. Okay, well, that is just setting them in memory here in the state. I'm not actually ever setting them to JSON. So you'll see here, this is grayed out because I'm never using it. So, oh, I forgot. So let's do set JSON storage, also to new items. Okay, so now every time I add something, we should, okay, clean bedroom. Okay, and then if I, okay, I wonder why that is. What's going on there? So let's figure this out. So it didn't seem to save. So a couple things that we want to do. First, I just want to see what new items is, right? Let's make sure that new items is there. Okay. So console.debug new items. Okay, I do this, test, spoilers. Okay, test, that's good. And so then let's go and look at set JSON storage. Okay, and maybe this is kind of easy, but maybe you've already spotted it, and I left it open over there so you probably already did. But this takes two parameters, not just one, and I am passing it just one. So we need to give it a key, right? So let's give it the right key that we have, and that is chore list. Now, you'll notice we have this chore list in two spots, and that can be a source of bugs. So let's just do this, and let's call this ls key, and just make a constant up here called chore list, and that way we can put this in both places. ls key, and that way if we change it one place, it will be in both places, and we'll be safe from bugs, hopefully, that are caused by that. Right, we don't want that. Okay, so let's come in here, and I'll just clean this up because you'll see I was setting those as the key instead of the actual values. So let's clear those out. Okay, this should be updated. So clean room. Okay, chore list, clean room. Do laundry. Okay, boom, that's working like we want. Let's refresh, okay. And it's coming back. Okay, cool. Now, we can do some other things. So let's say that we don't want to be able to add clean room twice, right? We already have it on there. So we can also, and again, this is a little bit verbose, but that's okay. Just for sake of illustration, let's say we want to see if the item is already in the list. So we'll say const already exist. And we'll say what we want to do with that is we want to say if items, and essentially we want to say has. Okay, that's not actually what we're going to say, but that's what we want, right? Has item to add. Okay, that would be if it already exists. Now, there's no has method on an array. Okay, but I want to know, like, how do I do that? Okay, so let's pretend like I have no idea, and so I would come over here and I would just Google and try to, find it out and figure it out. So let's say, is element in array JavaScript? Or is item in list or something? And put some JavaScript. Okay, so we see includes. Now, I like to skip the W3 schools and go straight to Mozilla. They have better examples and stuff. So includes. Okay, so array 1, 1, 2, 3, array dot includes 2. Okay, that looks like what I want. So let's come it back over to here, and then items includes. Okay, so if items includes item to add, then it already exists. And so in here we just want to say and doesn't, with the exclamation point, already exists. Okay. Okay, so let's see. So now if I say clean room, okay, it doesn't let me add it. Okay. But it doesn't clear it out either. So let's just do like an else here, else if already exist. Input value equals, right? So we can clear it out. Okay, so come over here, hit clean room. Okay, clears it out. Okay, good. Now, so we have all that working. We kind of did some debugging and stuff to figure out that some existing code. Now what we want to do is I want, when I search clean, let's say, and hit enter, I want it to only show things that have the word clean in them, okay? And then if I search nothing, I want it to show the whole list. So I have this stub here that says search items, and it's empty, okay? So I want it to also work where I hit enter, okay? That's kind of an easy, buttonless free. So I can just copy this over from up here. So essentially, we're going to not do anything unless the button, the key presses enter. So we'll avoid the previous mistake. Okay. And then we want to do something. Now, we want to set the items. Set items to something. Okay. Now, we'll just call it filtered items. Okay, and we don't want to do anything in local storage or anything like that. This is just a in-memory thing, and we're going to keep the input value. We're not going to clear that out because if I want to search something else or keep searching with that same thing, I'm going to keep it. And so let's see. So how do we filter items? What is that? Well, it's items. And then it's something, okay? And again, maybe I have no idea what to do, okay? And so I can come back to Mozilla and maybe search for something, filter array. And then maybe I'll find, there's a filter function that exists on arrays. Oh, and look at that. Kind of has an example of what I want to do. It looks like it, you can look at the syntax, kind of see what it does. There's some callback, arrow function stuff, and let's just read what it says. It says, the filter method creates a shallow copy of a portion of a given array, filtered down to just elements of the given array that pass the tests implemented by the provided function. Okay, if you come down here, it's going to tell us the parameters, And the callback function is the first parameter. A function to execute for each element in the array. It should return a truthy to keep the element and a falsy otherwise. Okay. And then these are the arguments of the callback. Okay, so you get the element because it's going to loop through each element. We're going to get the one that it's on, the index of the one that's on, and then the whole array. Okay, if kind of like a this for accessing it. Now, you'll see a similar thing here in this map. We have the current item and the index, and then it's mapping over that. Okay, so for filter, let's say before we do anything else, let's just let's copy these two things because we're gonna use similar stuff. Okay, and then we're gonna, but you know, this is not item to add. I'll just call it filter text, something like that. Okay, and then we're gonna say, and you don't have to trim that or whatever, but we'll just keep that. And we're gonna say, so this filter function, it takes a function, okay. And we're going to just use an arrow function. So we'll call this item, okay? Because remember it's going to loop over the items, and then it wants a truthy value if we want to keep it, okay? So we need some sort of test here to say if we want to keep it. Now, if we say just false, let's see what happens. Come in here, hit enter on this, and we get nothing, okay? If we set this to true, and hit enter. And say clean. Okay, we get everything still. Okay, so we want something that says like, only give me stuff that has clean in it. Okay, so how do we do that? Well, we have an item, and then we need to know if this string exists in it. Okay, like we need to search this item text, because right now this item, the first time it hits, it's going to do clean room, and it's going to do laundry. So when it hits this one, how do we know if it has clean? So I can come up here again and say, you know, or in Google and say, JavaScript does string have another string? Okay. Oh, and look at that. There's a string includes. Okay, so if I go back to here, I saw string includes. So what about a string includes? Okay, there's a string includes too. And let's see what this says. Sentence. The quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. Word fox. The word includes. Okay, I can run this. Okay, the word fox is in the sentence. Crazy. The word crazy is not in the sentence. Okay, this is exactly what we want to do. So, if we do item here dot includes, and then filter text. Okay, now again, this function includes is going to return true or false. Okay, based on what? If it's included in the string. Okay, so returns true if the key is included, false otherwise. So this is going to return true or false. Okay, that's exactly what this filter function wants. it wants to know true or false whether or not to keep it or not. So let's see what happens now. So if we come up here and hit this clean, we got clean room. Okay. And everything is included there, but I should get the rest of my stuff if not. Okay. Now this is where it gets a little bit tricky with state and stuff. So just to get kind of get a clean search every time, let's not use items right here for the filter. Let's use the items from local storage. So we'll say items from local storage equals get JSON. Okay. Now we get these at the beginning, but once we start messing with them and stuff, we start, you know, the items now is just clean room, and so when I try to clear that search out, I'm only getting what's in there now. So we're just going to reset this every time we search, and we'll do the ls key. Okay, and then instead of items here, okay. And now if we go here and hit enter, we get both. If we do, if we do dry, okay, we get that. Okay, clean, it has a capital, so it's case sensitive, that's okay. Clean is not in there, okay, good. And then we can add another thing, mop floor. Okay, and that's all here, okay? So let's see, O, okay, everything has an O. L, everything has an L. M, okay, but what about a capital M? Okay, cool. So that's how we do that. And so that's the end of that tutorial, just kind of a few ways to debug, a few ways to research and find answers to questions that you have and all that. So hopefully that helps. Thanks a lot.